Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today I got some news that EVGo is extending an exclusive discount to GM EV owners, but there is a catch or two. Let's get into it. That's right, everybody. I got actually a push notification on my phone, and then I got an email a little bit later. And basically, EVGo was telling me that because I was a GM EV owner, I have a Chevrolet Equinox EV, that they would be extending a 10% discount to use their network. And they give you all the directions and a code on how to actually enroll in the program. It's super easy. I'll actually show you all exactly what that process looks like, but it pretty much happens almost automatically for you. You just have to click the button and then click it again and you're good to go. So first off, let me just kind of explain a couple things about it. So you get this 10% discount. It can only be a 10% discount off of the regular rates. So that means non-membership rates. I did confirm this with EVGo. So basically the highest prices they have, it's 10% off the highest prices. You cannot stack this if you have a plan. So if you pay, I think it's like $6.99 and $12.99 or something like that, whatever the exact prices of those plans are, if you pay that, you cannot use this in addition to the discount you are already receiving. I'll share my thoughts about that later. Additionally, it is worth noting, and they do say this, that this is not for any of the Pilot Flying J or partner locations, which is definitely a little bit disappointing. And I don't want people to think they can go to a Pilot Flying J. It looks like the EVGo equipment, and then it doesn't work for them. So while this may be good news for some, it might not be good news for all. So before I give you all my opinions about this, I am going to go ahead and show everybody how you set this up on your phone using the EVGo app. All right, everyone, here is the email I received. Feel free to pause it if you like. Just shows it's 10% off, no session fees, which is great, and then shows how to enroll. And you basically just click this enroll now button, and then it takes you to the EVGo app. The code goes in. You could also copy the code and paste it in if you wanted to into the EVGo app. You click the button there, and boom, you are ready to go. If you go back to plans, you'll see now it says GM driver discount, and you're going to receive that 10% off. Gives you some details there if you want to read out about that. And again, says that it does not work at Pilot Flying J, unfortunately. All right, so let me share my thoughts about this. I kind of want to say why bother, but let me break it down. So first off, you can't use that at Pilot Flying J locations, the 10% off. For me, I do 95% of my driving at home, commuting, and I charge at home, right? So the only times I'm really using DC fast charging is when I'm on road trips. And the majority of well-placed EVGo charging locations for road trips are the Pilot Flying J locations. So basically for me, and I'd say a good number of people, you're not even going to be able to really utilize the discount, which is unfortunate. You know, Tesla is pretty affordable, and GM vehicles can already charge on Tesla. So 10% off of Pilot Flying J, would it have made me go use a EVGo Pilot Flying J instead of Tesla? Probably not. But if there was one that was well positioned compared to a Tesla on a certain stretch, I may go to it now that it's a little bit cheaper. But some of the Pilot Flying J locations tend to be pretty expensive. But none of that really matters because you can't use a discount there anyways. And for me, I don't have any EVGo locations near me, so this incentive is honestly pretty useless. Now, if you are someone and you've got EVGo near you, maybe it would work out, you know, but at a certain point, like if you run the numbers, it's probably better to just pay for the membership and get the, whatever, it's 25%, I think 33%, depending on which tier of membership you have, and get those discounts and it would probably pay off the membership compared to the 10% off with no membership price. Like it doesn't even make sense to use the 10%. It'd be better to pay the $7 or whatever and get the 25% off if you're going to charge a lot on the EVGo network. If maybe it's a local station for you, something like that. It's at your grocery store, your Target, Walmart, whatever it is. So, well, not Walmart. I don't think there's a lot of EVGos at Walmart, but Target, I know there's some EVGos there. But so I don't know. It just honestly, I don't. It's just not good enough for me, and I like, you should get it maybe in the off chance that you might use it, but I think EVGo and GM need to kind of talk a little bit and think this one through, because like I explained earlier, like financially it doesn't really even make sense to go for the 10% if you could pay the $7 and get 25%. And I did want to clarify too, because I kind of like I mentioned it but I didn't explicitly say, but you can't stack this discount. So it is just either 10% or you pay for a membership and you get the 25% that comes with. You can't get 35%, which is unfortunate. In my opinion, I think for GM owners, it would have been nice if you could have stacked it on top and gotten the 25% or 43% off. And then that really would have encouraged me to want to use EVGo. Or maybe occasionally if there's one nearby, I might even go out of my way a little bit just because I know I'm going to get a better price compared to Tesla at that point in time. But right now, with a lot of the EVGo prices and then, this discount not really being enough, I don't see why I would even want to go venture off to an EVGo station. So I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts about this. It's exciting to hear about a discount, but when the discount is kind of useless, like, is it really even worth it? I don't know if anyone from GM or from EVGo are going to see this video, but if you do, I think you need to reconsider this. I don't think it's even worth it. And that's all I have to say. I'm not trying to be harsh, but that's just reality. It doesn't make any sense to me. So love to hear everybody's thoughts down below. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you all next time.